This is the place to be for getting lots of great wisdom. The way that we change the world is empowering people and teaching them how to heal themselves. So if you look right here, we have this classroom, we have this meditation workshop, we have a free money shadow workshop. My ebook is here as well, chaos theory presentation, and a few other cool presentations here. That's all free, available if you love the way that I teach or enjoy what I'm sharing with you guys today and you want more information. And you can sign up and get access to that totally free. We also have a paid membership as well, but we have a great little freemium for you guys. It's all about that freemium. So let me pull up the actual presentation for you guys today, and let's get rocking and rolling. Oh, before I do that, let me just mute some people real quick. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm muting you. And at the end of the presentation, we will have some time for Q&A. So stay tuned, y'all, and we will get into the good stuff. All right. Can you guys see my screen? Give me a thumbs up. Can you see my screen? See the presentation? Excellent. All right. Let's dive right into the good stuff. All right. One more time. You can see that? The logo? Yes? You see it? Cool. Excellent. So I can't see everybody. So if you want to share something, please drop it in the chat box, and I'll do my best to kind of tune into that. And as I mentioned, we'll have some Q&A at the end. And at 7 p.m., we're going to do a little short meditation, a Dantian meditation. If you don't know what that is, you will learn about it in the presentation. All right. So a quick sip of my drink before we get rocking. Sipping on ginger tea today. That's my promo for ginger tea. All right. So the fundamentals of Chinese face reading. I love this. This is recorded, Lulu. Thank you. Yeah, I always record all these presentations. And there's a note taker as well. So I share the note taker in the school community, so you can tune into the notes. All right. So fundamentals. We're putting the fun in fundamentals of Chinese face reading. This first quote, if you're taking notes, I highly recommend doing that today. There is no such thing as a good or a bad emotion, only stuck emotions. There's no such thing as a good or a bad emotion, only stuck emotions. And as you'll see in this presentation, you can actually see in the face where you have stuck emotional energy. So just got, I'll give you guys an example for me. You see right here, I got a little bit of like dryness. This is my kidneys. I used to drink way too much coffee, so I got a little bit of dryness in my kidneys. So I'm just sharing some of my stuff when you look at me. So I learned that by going deep into this content here with this amazing book, Lillian Bridges, Face Reading in Chinese Medicine. I'll flash it for you guys that are watching at home. This is a phenomenal book teaching you 5-element theory and how to read somebody's face. As I mentioned, you can pre-diagnose disease, and most importantly, as I use as a coach, is I can tell what emotions people are suppressing, repressing, and denying. I'm a shadow work teacher, and so shadow work is all about working with your emotions. Is the book that I published, right? So I use this as a tool to help me with working with people's shadow. So first we have this quote: "He who knows others is wise. He who knows himself is enlightened." Now, Chinese face reading, what is it, and why would you want to learn it? Like, why would I learn Chinese face reading? Honestly, you guys, like the best part is it takes people watching to a whole new level. Like I live out here in Marin County, California. We got an older population. You can just read people, and it's crazy. It's also known as physiognomy. Now, it's based on the ancient Taoist principles of diagnosis and healing. Wise Chinese doctors could simply look at the face and diagnose patients. Now, why was this important? Because the doctors, they couldn't touch royalty. They were not allowed to touch royalty. So they had to look at the face and different coloration. Like I said, I'm like breaking down a very massive book into this short presentation. Different coloration, different marks, deeper grooves in the face actually is indicators of where you're storing emotional energy, stagnant emotional energy, or stuck emotions. And it can be a pre-diagnosis for disease, So the lines in the face are essentially a roadmap to what's happening internally. The lines in the face are a roadmap to what's happening internally. Now, the more stuck an emotion is, it creates deeper wrinkles in the face, which can actually change over time. This is what's cool about shadow work and doing Chinese face reading, is you can actually remove wrinkles because you've changed your face, you change the emotions that you're storing in your body. So all you ladies who are putting weird creams and shit on your face, no judgment, you can actually remove wrinkles by changing your emotional state internally. Never thought shadow work was so important, huh? Now, another way of looking at this is the facial map is like the rings of a tree. So you can actually look and see, like I said, I'm not an expert at this. I'm just teaching it and I use it as a tool, but you can actually see what period of time in somebody's life. There's a specifically, like, I'm not going to get into it today, but going down like the forehead, you can see like the age that people had some type of trauma in their life. Like the lady that wrote this book, one of my favorite parts about it is she said that she would have a hard time dating because she would bring dates home and her dad was a master Chinese face reader. Like, oh, what happened to you? And you're like 8 years old. He could like actually read what happened and knew that some type of trauma happened at a certain point of their life. That's why this is so fascinating. Now, face reading basics. The truth is, we are all and always have been face readers. Face reading began in childhood as a means to seek acceptance and love from others. So you've always been a face reader, even since you were a little boy or a little girl. It's rooted in ancient Taoist alchemical principles, and it aims to find balance in nature and leading back to what's known as the original face. In Taoist alchemy, it's called your original nature. So when you return to your original nature, that's why I wore my cool yin yang hat or shirt, excuse me, I have a hat too, is we want to have this balance internally and externally. And you also notice how different sides of the face show different things as well. So essentially, when we talk about the healing arts, it's a return to wholeness. It's bringing balance between our yin and our yang energies within the body. It has a lot to do with our jing, which we're going to talk about more in this presentation. Now, face reading basically diagnoses Jing deficiencies. As I mentioned, we'll get into that later, but this is what actually leads to illness and disease within the body, Jing deficiencies. And like I said, we'll go into that more deeply. Definitely take notes. As I always say, written once is 10 times read. It actually plant the image of what you're writing into your subconscious mind. So definitely write this down. Now, master face readers, and I don't call myself a master. I'm like maybe just past beginner. Master face readers can help people actually remove wrinkles. You can literally remove wrinkles because the deeper the groove, as you'll notice in this presentation, the deeper the embedded emotion is in the body. And actually different marks and where they are on the face shows what organs are storing those emotions as well. As I mentioned, when we started this presentation, I actually went on a date and I could tell this lady had stuff going on with her kidneys, which is the root of your Jing, actually. Now, this method is used for preventative medicine, detecting minor issues before they turn into major health problems. That's huge. And it's also valuable in business, relationships, and even legal matters as well. I literally use it in my relationships when I go on dates, or even in business as well as a coach, because I can like help the clients having something going on. I can look and like, have you checked your liver lately? You can look at like right here on the bridge of the forehead, and you can actually see what's going on there. Now, this all comes down to this other ancient book called the Yellow Emperor's Classic, which I also have. You guys didn't know I'm like a super wizard reader and whatnot. I love reading all these books. And it's also known as physiognomy. Also known as physiognomy. That's the other term. Remember when I was like younger and I would like read people's faces and I would intuit like, what's going on inside of you? And I didn't actually realize that face reading is actually an art that you can use. So that's another amazing book. That's like the ancient wisdom in that book, the Yellow Emperor's Classic. Nicholas, can you let Denise in? So the changing face, what to look for, okay? Now, the first thing here is face reading, you guys are giving you, this is just fundamentals, is that face reading isn't reliable for individuals under 25 because that's their inherited face. That's the face they got when they were born. Okay. Now, when you're between 25 and 50, individuals shape their own face, while 50 and beyond reflects dominant emotions. 50 and beyond reflects dominant emotions held within the body. So the deeper you hold it, the deeper you're going to have the mark, the deeper the wrinkle you're going to have in the face. Now, dominant facial features indicate amplified and suppressed emotions or elements. And as I mentioned, all next month in the Academy, we're going really deep into 5-element theory. So if you're enjoying this, we're going to go very deep into 5-element theory. If you want to learn how to master becoming your own healer, you're tired of spending tons of money on pharmaceutical drugs and going to therapy, nothing against those things, but you can learn how to heal yourself. And that's why we're here. Okay. But you can actually recognize suppressed elements and suppressed emotions. If you see an imbalance between the fire element or the water element or the wood element, you can actually change that energy. Now, the more you hold on to the emotions, the more they mark the face. I'm going to say that again. The more you suppress your guilt, suppress your shame, suppress your anger, that's where it relates to shadow work, you guys, right? This is a reflection of stored chi and Jing held within the body. This is why I found this fascinating, because I've read this book after I published my own book on shadow work. And I realized through studying shadow work that when you suppress an emotion, it literally does cause disease within the body. This is a conversation that most Western doctors are not having with people. And that's why this is so important to learn, because if you do your shadow work and you apply it to 5-element theory, you can learn how to heal yourself, because you can identify those emotions and you can release them. It's literally why I published my book on this. This is super valuable wisdom. Now, there's another key point, is forcing expressions, like forcing yourself, like, I'm so happy, guys, I'm so happy, right? Forcing expressions actually wastes chi and weakens facial muscles, causing deeper lines. One of the things that she said, like, when I build my muscles up, I hit the gym pretty regularly, so my muscles are strong. You don't actually want to like force your face. It could actually creates deeper grooves in the face. It's a different type of fascia within the facial muscles than in the muscles of the body. Okay. Now, a cautionary note is don't read someone's face without their permission. Like, don't walk up to like, hey, you got some stuff going on in your liver. It'd be kind of weird if you like walked up and said that to somebody. So a cautionary thing she says in the book a few times is always ask somebody's permissions. Like, may I share something that I'm seeing in your face? Don't just walk up and tell people that you're seeing stuff, because you're going to learn some cool stuff in this presentation. So face reading and emotions. The key thing is emotion. It's energy and motion, or it's not. Remember that quote, there's no such thing as a good or a bad emotion, only stuck emotions, okay? So the only bad emotions, as I mentioned, are stuck, and the more stuck they are, there's a symbol of stuck chi energy. You're wasting your jing. And like I said, we're gonna go into more of what jing is in a little bit. And essentially, this is why face reading is so valuable, is it's like a check engine light. It's like, there's like, you gotta check your engine. Like, one of the things we'll go over later, there's a mark. You see a mark right here across the chin? That means you're burning up your jing. It's your kidneys right there. When I went on that date with that lady last year, I could tell she was overworking herself. And I was like, oh, you got kidney stuff going on. And you can actually see that stuff. So it's like a check engine light. Like, even years ago, and I was running 2 gyms. I was running a film studio. I was managing like 50 plus clients by myself. And I started to get this mark on my chin. I was like, am I getting old? No, I was overworking myself. And so, like, that's how we can use face reading as a tool. Anybody here who's a coach, or you have some family members you want to help them out with, it can really help them out or even save their life. That's why we're teaching this stuff, Alchemy Healing Academy. Now, stuck emotions can cause health problems symbolized by wrinkles. I'll say that again because it's so important. Stuck emotions can cause health problems symbolized by wrinkles. You can pre-diagnose disease and know which emotions are being suppressed. Like I said, as a shadow work coach, this helps me so much in my shadow work sessions, because like, I'm a great communicator. I ask great questions, but sometimes I'm trying to help somebody figure something out, but I can read their face and be like, oh, you're really carrying a lot of grief, which you can see in the cheeks right here, which you'll see in a little bit. Now, essentially the goal of Taoist alchemy is to discover one's golden path. Like, what is your soul purpose in this lifetime, and to become aligned with that. It's also known as your Ming, or your destiny. And like one of the examples she gives in the book is she talks about how you could become a lawyer or a doctor. And there's nothing wrong with becoming a lawyer or a doctor, but if your destiny was not to become that, you'll start to have energy, or you'll have dis-ease showing up. And we're like, why am I sick? Why is this going on for me? Maybe you're meant to be an artist. When you actually become that artist, boom, you found your golden path, or your destiny, or your Ming, and your health actually improves. And so this is not my opinion. This is based upon what she read in this book. As I mentioned, it's fantastic. I got more people popping in. This book is phenomenal, you guys. Some TikTok people are giving me some love. I actually made 3 cents on TikTok last week, you guys. 3 cents on TikTok. That's right. Represents. I mean, my goal is to get more people on these calls. Thank you so much for the hearts. So now, the other key thing here is, as you guys know, anybody who's spiritual, woo-woo, your emotions are so powerful. Let me say it again. Your emotions are so powerful, because if you suppress the emotions, they make you sick. But if you express your emotions, it can totally change your entire life when you do it in a healthy way. Now, emotional intensity is reflected in the depth and breadth of facial markings. It's reflected in the depth and breadth. Now, like I said, if you guys look at my kidneys right here, I definitely burnt out my kidneys a little bit. I'm not bad, but you can see it kind of looks like a little bit of a desert almost. I don't know if you guys can see that, because I burnt it, and I'm not in a bad place. It's not like deep, but I actually really work on staying hydrated and not using so many stimulants anymore. Okay. Now, the key thing here is that major emotions correspond to the 5 Chinese elements in various organs within the body, enabling pre-diagnosis of potential ailments by connecting the dots. Okay. So it's like an example. The wood element is your liver and gallbladder. The fire element is your heart, nervous system, and small intestines. The earth element is your stomach, spleen, and digestive system. The metal element is your lungs, your colon, and your skin. The water element is your kidneys, bladder, bones, and endocrine system. Like an example, like as I mentioned, I worked with this Taoist shaman who coached me for a year. She said that when she works with people, she usually starts with the metal element. Ironically, it has a lot to do with alchemy too, because it has to do with your lungs. She always starts working with the lungs because she starts using breath work with people. So that's one of the things that she taught me that's so valuable. So you want to get people using the lungs because the metal element, often people have a lot of wood's associated with anger. You start using the breath to chop the wood because a lot of people have excessive yang, anger energy in their body. So it's a little bit more of an advanced teaching. But that's some of the ways that you can start looking at what emotions are showing up, what imbalances people have, and all next month we'll be going into this in this academy. The thing I love about teaching this, every month I get better and better at teaching this stuff and mastering it myself. Someday I'll be a Taoist wizard and you'll come visit me on the mountains and we will meditate together. It'll be great. But like I said, next month, 5 elements and 5 spirits. That other, I know I'm flashing lots of books on you guys getting into this, the 5 spirits. Essentially, it's also the 5 elements are also known as 5 specific spirits in the body. Now on this chart, you guys can see, I'm only going to share this with you guys for a couple moments here. Thanks for all the hearts on TikTok. I feel loved. So you can see like different body types, the correlating facial features. And that's you guys are going to master this, but you can do a picture of this. You can take a screenshot. This is also recorded. I know you guys at home can't, on the live call can't see this, but essentially I'm going over how to actually identify some of the markings here, like the eyes. The mouth has to do with the stomach because you eat food. Food is grounding related to the stomach. Your ears and your kidneys are actually the same shape as the water element and whatnot. And when you start really getting into Chinese medicine and 5 element theory, it starts to make a lot of sense. It's actually a very like poetic way of looking at how your internal organs all work in unison. And like I said, I'm not going to give you guys a crash course in 5 element theory right now, but next month we'll be going much deeper into it. Even on the backside, we go over really deeply into these different elements. But you can see each of the elements, the primary organ that you're working with, like the water is the kidneys, the wood is the liver, the fire is the heart, the earth is the stomach, and the metal is the lungs. And there's a yin and a yang to all this too, because like I said, it's a very deep subject. But as you learn how to balance these energies, you can look at like, let's say you have a lot of like an example, some people have too much fire energy. Okay, what you would do is you would balance that out with water energy to like kind of cull all the fire energy in your body. Like your nervous system is dysregulated. Like next week we're going to talk about healing the nervous system, right? So there's different ways where you can learn how to put all these things together, and then you learn how to become your own healer. That's why we built this healing academy. So this is a really cool slide. As I said, if you want to check this out more, maybe do a screenshot real quick. I also have a recording of this as well. As I mentioned, this is a deep subject. I'm flying all over the place with this stuff, but hopefully you guys are enjoying it. Now let's keep going. Now the facial mosaic, okay? I'm wearing my yin yang shirt. I love it. I'm all about that yin and that yang, right? And now, on a quick note, like when you look at the yin yang symbol, if you got anybody here who studied quantum mechanics, put a 2 in the chat box. If you studied quantum mechanics, quantum psychology, quantum anything, okay? Studied quantum psychology, give me a 2 in the chat box. So if you want to simplify quantum mechanics, I actually figured this out last year. It blew my mind. You look at the yin yang symbol, it's quantum mechanics staring us in the face because there's a particle, that's the particle, and then you see the wave, and it's right there, literally in the yin yang symbol. There's a particle, and there's also a wave. So it's literally staring us in the face. We're understanding how to transcend duality. This is a roadmap for our reality, is the yin yang symbol here. So if you just came on, please mute yourself, or if Nicholas, you can mute the person who just hopped on. But so the facial mosaic, this is fascinating stuff. So the right side of the face represents your yin, portraying how one wishes to be perceived publicly, okay? The right side of the face, okay? Now, let me click there. So the left side of the face embodies yang energy, reflecting one's internal reality. So you can actually look at people's faces and you'll see an imbalance from one side of the face to the other. Fascinating stuff. So like I said, the yin is portraying how one wishes to be perceived, and the left is the yang, reflecting one's internal reality and how you truly are. Fascinating stuff. Like I said, I'll have a recording for this. Now, when you have an imbalance between each side, this means you have a trapped emotion. When you have an imbalance from one side to the other, like some people I'll see that mark here, you'll see like one side up and then one side down. Because like when you have marks going up, that means more like a yang energy. You have a mark going down, it's more yin energy. And so you can see where there's an imbalance in those spaces, and we'll get deeper into that as we move through this presentation. Now, pain lines commonly manifest on the left side of the body because they're concealed from public view. Like you'll see later, like people have like a mark coming down the side of their face like this. And like that means they're concealing something. They're concealing some of their inner sadness. Okay. And now the other thing too is that symmetry actually means you have optimal health. So you can actually, when you have balance, this is what we talked about earlier about returning to your the original face, because you heal your internal emotions, it's reflected in the face, and you can actually do this over time by doing your shadow work, by healing your soul. Like that's essentially what Taoist alchemy is all about. It's about bringing your soul fully into your body. When you experience trauma, you abuse drugs or alcohol, the soul will actually leave the body. Okay, and that's like a whole deeper subject, but that's essentially what the logo for my company is, the Philosopher's Stone. It's about bringing the soul fully into the body. If you do that, you can actually accomplish what's called being a Taoist immortal. Doesn't mean you're totally immortal, but you will rarely get sick. You will heal in a fraction of the time, and you'll be freaking literally like a wizard. A Taoist immortal, okay? Now, this one's fascinating. This is my favorite parts, okay? I'm actually doing a presentation on this to a sales company next week. So the 3 zones and how others make decisions. So anybody here do sales? Drop me a 1 in the chat box. You guys are all salesmen in actuality. You got to sell yourself every day. So put a 1 in the chat box if you do sales, right? Okay. So we're all selling ourselves all the time when you talk. So truth be told, you're all salespeople on some level, right? So if you're just talking to somebody, this is really powerful. So when you're speaking with someone, okay, there's 3 different aspects to look for. So when you're looking up here, this is heaven, this is human, and this is earth. Okay, heaven, human, earth. Okay, so the heaven is people who are more in their mind. Okay, the humans, people who are more practical. All right, and then down here is people who are more emotional and more instinctual. So I can look at my face, like I'm pretty mental. I got like a pretty big forehead here, right? Looking at me, like I'm practical, but that's not a dominant feature of my face. And I do have a pretty good sized chin, so I am pretty emotional as well. So you can look at my face, so you know how to talk to me. So when we talk about like what you want to do is look for distinctive features. So you see somebody who's got a big old schnoz, like no judgment, but somebody's got a big nose, right? That's somebody who's going to be more practical, right? Or if they have a big chin, right? So you want to look for dominant features, and that's going to indicate how you want to talk to that person. I'll give you guys another example. Later on, we're going to go over like specific marks on the face. Like if somebody has a lot of lines on their lips, that means they have a good sense of humor. So like I said, this helps with dating, it helps with sales, it helps with just talking to people. And you meet somebody on the street, you're going to know how to talk to them better. In terms of like sales, if somebody's got a big old forehead, kind of like me, they want stats. They want to know like how fast does that Corvette go? You know what I'm saying? Or somebody who is more practical, they're more human. They want to know what's in it for me. And Nicholas, can you mute whoever's? Boom, got it. Sometimes I can't see my mouse. Whoever that is, please mute yourself. Oh, it's my dad. Thanks, Pops. All right, so it's like, who's that? All right, let's keep going here. So the next one is people who have a bigger chin, okay, or big lips. That means that they're more emotional. They want to feel. So people want, if they have a big forehead, that's more mental. They want stats. People have a bigger middle portion of their face or like a big nose. They want to know what's in it for me. They're a little bit more into themselves. Or if somebody has like a big old chin or a bigger lips, that's going to be in there more emotional. So you can look for these different markers, these 3 different zones, and that's going to tell you how to communicate with somebody, whether you're on a date or you're selling somebody something, or just in general, you know how to communicate with people better. That's why I found this fascinating in terms of like being able to communicate. Now let's get into the Dantians. This is like fundamental wisdom for understanding Taoist alchemy, fundamental wisdom, okay? So anybody know who a Dantian is? Throw a 3 in the chat box, because it's the 3 Dantians. Throw a 3 in the chat box if you know what a Dantian is, or the 3 Dantians. This is like extremely powerful, fundamental wisdom. Give me a 3 in the chat box. I'm curious if anybody knows. Give me a 3. Nobody knows what a Dantians are. This is going to be really important for you guys. There we go. Herb, you know what it's up. There we go, boss. So there we go. Mary, I was waiting for you. I know you know what the Dantians are. So like learning this is fundamental. You need to understand how your Dantians work. Now, a Dantian is essentially an elixir field. Those of you watching on live, there's your third eye, there's your heart, and then there's your lower Dantian deep in the belly. Okay, so essentially you want to have balance between these 3 Dantians. It's also related to your chakras, your sacral chakra, your heart chakra, and your third eye chakra. And a dantian, as I said, is an elixir field. Dan actually means elixir. And so these are also energetic centers in the body. Like later on, we're going to do a meditation. We're going to actually work with the 3 dantians. And the key thing for most people, like one of the most fundamental things I teach, is breathing into the lower dantian. You want to inhale into the belly, exhale down into the earth, and you want to connect and allow yourself to fully bring your chi out of your head. A lot of people, you're in your head, that's the upper dantian, you're in your yang energy. You want to bring your energy down to that lower dantian, literally priceless. It's like too much masculine, bring your energy down into the body and balance it with the feminine. Now, your jing, if you're taking notes, this is super important. Your jing is your essence. Your jing is your essence. It has to do with your sexual energy. Nothing to do with sex. It has to do with your sexual energy, is your essence, right? Your drive, your DNA. It also has a lot to do with your kidneys, okay? If you're burning yourself out, you're burning up your jing. And we have another analogy on the next slide to go over this. It has to do with your stamina, your strength. You guys, when you run out of jing, you're dead. You're done. Bye. You're out of here. Okay. That's why this is so important. That's why you want to understand how your jing works. Now, the second one is in the heart. It's your chi. It's the energy that emanates all life force throughout the body and can be manufactured to buffer jing. Okay. So the more you have chi moving through your body, I have a whole nother presentation going into this, but like the food that you eat, the thoughts that you think, your breath, okay, getting proper rest, that buffers chi so you're not burning up your jing. Like an example, like back in my 20s, I used to party and drink and smoke. I probably was burning up a lot of jing, you know what I'm saying? So you have a certain amount of jing in each life, and the whole goal here is to actually enhance your chi and your life force so you're not burning up your jing. Number 3, and this is a very important piece, is the shen. You cannot truly access your shen if you don't have strong jing, if your chi is not moving properly. And the shen is called the spirit that dwells in the body, the spirit that dwells in the body. And this is very valuable because you can look somebody in the eyes, you can see if the shen is present. You guys ever looked at somebody who was like high, or they're on drugs, or they're drunk, their eyes look a little funny because the spirit is not present. This is an important thing when you're talking to somebody, like, wait a second, look them in the eyes. What's going on with their eyes? Are they blowing out? And this is the shen. It's the fire, okay? You can see the fire in the eyes, all right? And a very powerful point in Chinese face reading. When you're reading somebody, you're looking at them like, look at those eyes. Is the spirit present? Because if you have trauma, your spirit leaves, your soul vacates the body, and then you're far more susceptible to disease, you guys. You are far more susceptible to disease. So you want to have a balance between your jing down here in the belly. That's your feminine, right? This is your masculine. And you use your yin and your yang. You want to bring them together in your heart space so your chi is moving throughout the body efficiently. This is why we call this Taoist alchemy. This is the Alchemy Healing Academy. We teach you how to heal yourself. And I have a whole wide range of tools in our paid academy. It's actually very affordable too. If you want to learn how to do this, it saves you a lot on medical bills, you guys, by learning how to heal yourself. And that's why I'm so keen to teaching this. Okay. You want to learn how to become your own healer. Now, I'm going to give you guys another analogy of how these 3 dantians work. It's called the candle analogy, okay? So it's all about managing your energy. Now, essentially, your jing is a candle, okay? Now, everybody has a different like size candle, like width or height of candle, all right? And so this is based upon the quality and the quantity of the jing that you have. Remember, this is your essence, your deepest life force. When the candle burns out, you are dead. That's why it's so important to understand this. Now, chi is the energy moving through your body represented by the flame. This is the fire energy. It's the chi moving through your body. So you want to have strong chi. Remember I said earlier, it has to do with the food that you're eating, the thoughts that you're thinking, your breath, okay? Like your entire environment affects your chi moving through the body, okay? And then we have the shen. Shen is your spirit and the light from the flame, which illuminates the darkness, okay? So if you have trauma, alcohol abuse, drug abuse, sexual abuse, whatever it is, trauma that you've experienced, the shen will kind of go out. The flame will go out, okay? And this also relates to shadow work because when the flame goes out, darkness comes in. When the flame starts to go out, darkness comes in. And this is where it also relates to doing your shadow work because if you don't have a balance between your jing, your essence, your chi, the energy moving through your body, and the shen, your third eye, right? You're not going to see truly because your shadow is too big. And so you want to be able to learn how to do this work by balancing out these 3 dantians, having a strong candle, strong flame, and that illuminates the darkness so those shadows don't affect you. I love that analogy. Like when I read that, I was like, oh, that makes so much sense related to shadow work. Flash my book on you guys one more time. Anybody's tuning in, $20 on Amazon, or it's free on Spotify. So please check out my book. And if you have my book, please write a review. I really appreciate that because I'm doing this all for free. I love teaching this wisdom, if you can't tell. So let's get back to some of the Chinese face reading, all right? And signs of Jing. Remember, Jing has to do with your longevity. When your Jing is gone, you're dead, bro. You're out. Peace. You are gone, all right? So Jing has to do with longevity. So examples, lots of hair, having a gap in between your teeth. I used to have a big gap when I was a kid. I hated it, but it's actually a sign that I had a lot of Jing. Wide hips is another symbol of having lots of Jing, lots of essence, okay? Long earlobes means wisdom in old age luck, or luck in old age. When you have big old long earlobes, I got some okay earlobes. I wish they were a little bit longer. I have more luck in old age. A widow's peak. Look at that. See that widow's peak, guys? That's right. I got strong feminine energy in my body. Yin energy is feminine and yang energy is masculine. So I'm receptive. I got strong yin energy. See that widow's peak? That's right. So different markers tell you different things. Thick cartilage at the top of your ear. I know some of you guys are going to feel your ears now. Thick cartilage is a sign of abundance. If you got thick cartilage up on the top of your ear, that is a sign of abundance, okay? Jing does not come into the body until you're 7 years old, okay? So it just like kind of starts flowing into the body once you hit 7 years old. The key thing here is finding your golden path in life. I made an analogy earlier. Let's say you became a doctor, or let's say you became a lawyer, and there's nothing wrong with becoming a lawyer or a doctor, but if it's not your golden path, health issues will arise. If you're like on this career path and it's not what you're meant to be, strange health things will show up in the body, and it's indicators that you're not following your golden path or your Ming. And when you find your golden path, it enhances your Jing. You guys get that? When you find your life purpose, it enhances your Jing. You're going to live better. You're going to live healthier. Like I said, this is not my opinion. All comes out of this book. I just love teaching it. I was like, this is fascinating. Imagine how many people have health problems because they're not fulfilling their destiny. Their mommy or daddy said, like I said, there's nothing wrong with being a doctor. There's nothing wrong with being a lawyer. Be like, you must become a doctor or a lawyer to be very wealthy. And like, they may become really wealthy, but if you're sick, what's the point? Right? So like if you're meant to do something else, I just use those analogies because she uses those analogies in the book. Okay. No judgment. Lawyers and doctors are fantastic. But this is powerful. Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Goldilocks and the Three Bears. So buffering chi to preserve your Jing. Buffering chi to preserve your Jing. So these are three primary marks to look for on the face. Three primary markers. And those of you on the live, hit me up. You can tune into the Zoom next time so you can actually see these pictures. So three primary marks. This is very important, you guys. So the first one, if you have a mark right here in between your eyes, this has to do with your liver. Okay, it means you have poor digestion. See that? I don't have it. I've had it before. I've had that mark and it's gone away. Remember, I had periods where I wasn't eating as healthy and I had a mark in between my eyes. It's like right here. You can see the picture there. Poor digestion. So somebody's got some, I'm having these health problems. You look them in the face like, well, your digestion sucks, bro. So like, remember, you have to ask permission first. But I've actually seen this on people who have poor digestion. Now, the second one, the philtrum, it's right here, just below the nose. If people have a mark right here on their face, okay, that means they have poor breath. I shit you not, you guys. I was actually doing a coaching session, my first session with this lady, and I was just beginning to learn this. And I did one coaching session with her, and well, I met her again a few months later, and I saw that, and I was like, do you have any problems with your breath? I asked her, and she was like, yeah, I do. And then I actually taught her breath work, and 3 months later, the mark left her face. You guys, like I'm telling you, like you can remove wrinkles from your face. If you need support, reach out. It's like, it's a lot better than putting weird funky creams on your face. Nothing against that. I like to put a little lotion on my face too. You know what I'm saying? But if you see this mark here, right, across the philtrum, it's the bridge between heaven and earth, right? It means you have poor breath, and you can do specific breath exercises. If you join my online community, we have a whole range of meditations. My father, who's actually a sound mixer, helped me record them, so they're awesome. Okay. The big one, this is the big one, your kidneys right here. If you got a mark right here, poor quality rest. I used to have that. I don't remember I have anything right now. Do I see it right there? Might be a little bit of a mark. I've been resting a lot lately. All right. But if you see that mark across the chin, I know some of you guys are going to go run to your mirror and start looking at your face, right? But you have too much masculine energy. This is a huge one. Look at the world today. You guys are start looking at people. You're going to see that mark on their chin. You are too much in your masculine yang energy. And yang is fire, right? Look at my shirt here. Yang is fire, rising energy. Yin is feminine, water energy, right? So we want to have a balance between those energies. Coming back to what I mentioned earlier, as I just thought of this. When you balance, when you really learn how to bring the chi, the fire energy from your mind, the masculine, and bring it down into the feminine right here. This is where your belly is. And you put them together. You actually, it's called cooking the chi. And this is where you become a Taoist immortal, because you learn to bring the fire energy down to the water, and then they commingle, and this strengthens the chi moving throughout the body. I teach much more of this in my academy if you want to learn how to master this stuff, okay? But the key thing is to balance the masculine rising fire and the feminine descending water and bring them in harmony together. That's why this symbol of the yin yang is so important, because you want to have this balance within the body. Remember, you can see it in the face on each side, but this is a very important point here, is you're possibly burning yourself out. If you see a deep line right here, you are burning up too much. You're burning up too much chi, and you're possibly on the path to becoming very sick. So take a look at your face. Maybe, like, remember I said, be careful when you're talking to people. I say, can I read your face real quick? Always ask for permission. Quick check. And you guys having fun? Give me a thumbs up. How you doing on Zoom? Got a few people watching me on not Zoom. Thank you. Loving it. Got 4 people on TikTok, 3 people on Facebook. I love it. Guys, I love teaching this stuff. My goal is to get way more people on these calls, because the more people we teach this to, we can learn to heal ourselves. It saves you money. And then you start teaching your family, and then they're not as sick. We can like live longer and be happier. Sounds kind of cool to me, right? So that's like literally my motivation, to teach this stuff to as many people as possible. I have a year-long system teaching I have 12 different topics throughout the year. And when I get more people in the program, I'll start building more presentations, but I've already built so much. So please tell your friends and family to tune in. If you want to support me, please buy my book. Let's get more people doing the work, you guys. Take our power back from this broken system we have in society. It's broken in a good way. It's broken so that we can heal ourselves. All right. How are we doing on time? Pretty good. All right. So emotional management. Okay. Emotional. This is so important. A lot of this stuff is going on your face, and a lot of people's physiological disease is actually emotional disease. Okay. So it's emotion. It's energy in motion, or it's stuck. Remember, there's no such thing as a good or a bad emotion, only stuck emotions. If you're writing down notes, that's so important. Like, highlight that, circle it. There's no such thing. It's not bad to be angry, right? If you're always angry, oh, that's the sign, right? So it's not bad to feel shame. Sometimes you got to process your shame, okay? It's not bad to feel guilty. Sometimes you feel guilty. It's totally normal. But if it's stuck, boy, you're gonna get sick. Boy, you're gonna get real sick. So I just skipped ahead. Your feelings outweigh the events impacting you. Trauma is linked to perception, and it traps the energy. This is why learning shadow work is so important. It's like learning how your emotions work is so important, because it traps the energy in your physiology. Okay. Now, an example is like justifiable anger impedes spiritual progress. So releasing resentment, rage, revenge, anger, guilt, and shame is crucial. Like I said, feeling anger is fine, but you want to be able to move that anger. The anger has to do with the wood element. It's rising energy. So you want to be able to like cool that with, like I said earlier, with the metal element. So using like your breath to move that energy and chop some of that wood in your system. If you want to learn more about this, as I mentioned, there's a lot more of this in the academy. So if you're holding on to those emotions, as I said, it relates back to shadow work. As you learn how to release those stagnant emotions, then you get to become your own healer. You guys, the reason why I love teaching this, you can start teaching your family, you start teaching your friends this stuff, and you'll become a master healer. Now, the key thing here, okay, and this is not my opinion, this is based upon this book, and I'm going to keep flashing it, some new people popped on, okay, is viewing past experiences as gifts. Viewing past experiences as gifts. Blessing the messenger aids in transcending them, though ego attachments may hinder release. So people, like, I'll give you as an example, right? So I had this ex-girlfriend years ago. She was roofied and she was sexually assaulted. Terrible. And that's a horrible thing to have happen to you, undoubtedly. But it led to her become a public speaker and going all over the world and teaching women how to heal from it. So the key thing is to like recognize the things that happen to you. This is her opinion. The lady who wrote this book is sometimes, like I said, this is her opinion. Your soul puts you through an experience to wake you up to your destiny. Your soul puts you through an experience to wake you up to your destiny. Not my opinion. That's what Lillian Bridges, who wrote this book, said. The problem is our ego gets so attached, like, no, this person's bad. And like you can't forgive them. You can't forgive yourself. And that keeps the emotions stuck more inside you. Put a 4 in the chat box if you've ever struggled forgiving somebody. I feel like everybody, I'm gonna put a 4 in the chat box. Did you ever struggle with forgiving somebody? There's a 4, right? Like, you guys, like, because if you can't forgive them, often you can't forgive yourself, and like that's keeping the emotions stuck within the body. Okay. So I'm just like, I'm not trying to call you out, but like gently say, that's the key to healing. We all have to forgive and let go and release. Otherwise, you know, like if you're angry at somebody, it's not hurting them, it's like burning yourself, right? So keep that in mind as we go through your own healing process. Now, the key, like another super powerful point here, I learned this from another master coach. All healing, right, comes down to your identity. So if you want to change something, you have to shift your identity. Now, over identifying with trauma, this is super important. Over identifying with trauma keeps us stuck in the past, freezing our energy, our jing, and causes disease within the body. Okay. Over identifying with trauma keeps us stuck in the past, freezing our jing. Remember, your jing is your life force, it's your essence, and it causes disease within the body. If you're taking notes, that is a very important point. Definitely write that down. I'll say it one more time. Over identifying. I am my trauma. I am my wound. You've now like literally made your energy field more dense. We're going to get into quantum psychology in a couple months, and it goes very deep into this, because the more you say, I am sad, I am angry, you've now made your energy field dense. You want to say, I'm experiencing anger, I'm experiencing sadness, and now it's moving through your body. Your words are very powerful. Your words are like spells. Now, to liberate energy for the future and reverse patterns, you want to heal trauma through emotional transmutation. And this even reduces wrinkles, you guys. Literally, the wrinkles on your face, you can reduce them by allowing yourself, liberating your energy for the future, reverse past patterns, heal trauma through emotional transmutation, okay, or transformation. And this will even reduce wrinkles on your face. You guys, you can reduce the wrinkles on your face by healing your wounds, doing your shadow work, right? Y'all gonna look sexy and beautiful when you're 90. Woo! Right? So you want to look good as you age. That's the key thing here. But more than anything, you guys, it's not just looking good, you feel good because you're not suppressing all these emotions. And this is a quote that Lillian Bridges, right? A lot of this stuff, I'm just sharing my interpretation of this amazing book, this is her quote. So you have suffered. Good. You have broken down the armor that shields your soul. Ooh, that's deep. So you have suffered. Good. You have broken down the armor that shields your soul. Lillian Bridges. I know the text's a little bit off there, but Lillian Bridges, this woman is a freaking genius, you guys. Another quick check-in. How we doing, guys? Having fun? Give me a thumbs up. Give me some hearts. Give me some stars, maybe, if you're on Facebook. You guys feeling good? Got a quick sip of my drink. All right. Just remind you guys, I go live every Thursday, 6 p.m. with a different topic. Each month, next month's 5-element theory. Next week, please tune in, bring your friends. We're teaching Heal Your Nervous System next week. Definitely don't want to miss this one. This book is fantastic. There we go. I'm getting the hearts. Thank you so much. I feel so loved. I feel the shen in my body's feeling good. All right, so emotional management continued. We're doing pretty good on time here. We're going to do a little Q&A in a few minutes. So emotional energy in motion, or it's stuck. Now, when you find yourself less triggered by trauma or by mentioning of it, you've begun the process of transmuting that energy and reharnessing your jing. Now, let me touch on that because that's super important, right? Reharnessing your jing. What you're actually doing when you suppress your emotions is you're basically taking all this energy. Imagine having like a bucket full of energy. Wow, I have all this energy. And you're just dumping it out and wasting it by suppressing your anger, suppressing your guilt, suppressing your shame. I gotta recharge my light. So the more you suppress an emotion, you're taking your jing and you're like dumping it, you're wasting it. I have another analogy too. Debbie Ford, who wrote Dark Side of the Light Chaser, she said, when you don't do your shadow work, it's like you're carrying a big watermelon, hiding it behind you, and you're walking around like, why do I have back problems? Like, why am I struggling? Because you're carrying a watermelon. When you suppress your emotions, like you're literally causing pain instead of like pulling it out and chopping it up and like feeding people, right? You're literally carrying this pain and it's keeping you from healing. Okay. And that's what you're doing from a Chinese medicine perspective. When you're suppressing your emotions, you can actually get that energy back. You literally can get that energy back because you're reharnessing that jing, your most powerful energy. Right? Is your doctor talking to you guys about jing? Like, come on. Like, that's why this is so important, right? We're all our own doctor. We're all our own therapist. We're all our own healer. That's what we're teaching here in the Alchemy Healing Academy. Now, the key thing here is as you reharness that jing is indifference. When you are no longer emotionally triggered. one of my favorite teachers of emotional mastery is Gabor Mate. And when you get triggered, it's like a gun, right? Instead of shooting people or shooting yourself, not literally, but you get triggered and your emotions you start projecting. You go, wait a second, I'm triggered, and you unload the ammo, and you're like, oh, that's the thing that's causing me so much problems, right? So you can actually learn to shift that as energies instead of projecting, pointing that gun, like it's like an emotional energy. You're projecting your emotions at people. You can unload that weapon and realize how much you're actually hurting yourself, how much you're actually causing pain in the relationships in your life. So that's the key thing, is when you're no longer emotionally triggered. Okay. Now, sometimes our attachment to trauma is an important stepping stone to healing or finding our life's purpose. Ooh, that's deep, right? That's what I was like mic drop. That's the one right there. Okay. So sometimes our attachment to trauma is an important stepping stone to healing or finding our life's purpose. And this transforms a negative thing to a positive. That's essentially what alchemy is, you guys. The whole world right now is in false light. That's why so many people are suffering. They're like, oh, I'll buy more things. Oh, I'll keep doing this. Oh, I'll keep doing that. What we really need to do is slow down into the darkness and find the root of our pain and integrate it so we create balance. Okay, that's what we need to do. So this is what transforms, what we call, oh, I don't want to look at that. So you stuff it more into your shadow, and then your shadow is literally learning your life. You keep attracting the same experiences, and it's driving you nuts. And you go to doctors, therapists, pharmaceuticals. Nothing bad about those things, but if it's not working, maybe it's time to actually do your shadow work, you guys. So then you actually are harmonizing the darkness and light, because you go into the darkness and that balances the light. And that's how you transform that which you would call negative into something positive. In alchemy, it's called enatiotremia, turning something into its opposite. So instead of running away from your pain, you go into your pain, and then it shifts, and boom, now you've become your own healer. Now you can teach your family and friends how to become their own healer. That's why I love teaching this stuff, you guys. We all can heal ourselves. We just forgot. I always like to say part of the word remember is ember. You have to find the fire within yourself. There's a term in alchemy called secret fire. You got to come to more presentations to learn about that. Now, converting pain into forgiveness and gratitude shifts healed patterns into future fuel, guiding you towards your golden path. I'll say it again, converting pain, like that watermelon, right, into forgiveness and gratitude shifts healed patterns into future fuel, guiding you towards your golden path, finding your destiny in life. Now, what also happens, this is very powerful. Like I said, this all comes from the book. Deep traumas often offer clues to our life's purpose, requiring shadow work and curiosity to unveil our inner gold. And that is an authentic alchemical journey. It's like you're like, oh, I had this really traumatizing experience, and you never dealt with it. There may be a clue to your destiny in your greatest trauma. There may be a clue in your deepest trauma that's going to reveal your destiny, and you'll heal in ways that would blow your mind. You guys, I used to have, I'm not going to get into it because we got to get going here in the meditation, but I had back pain where I spent 30 grand going to doctors, therapists, chiropractors, everything. Nothing worked. And I was in a very dark space mentally and emotionally. But it wasn't until I actually learned how to do my shadow work and I did energetic healing that I finally healed. And it literally saved my life, you guys. I'm only sharing that to hopefully inspire you. By the way, I do quantum healing work. I do distance healing sessions. I teach shadow work. I have a full shadow work program. If you need support or you know somebody who needs support, please reach out. I'd love to help them on their healing path. Now, this last part, effective emotional management is vital for healthy aging. I'll say it again. Effective emotional management is vital to healthy aging. Because the more you suppress emotions, the more it shows up in your face, and the more it's going to affect you. You want to find the causes that are creating the effects. Now, probably the coolest slide on this whole presentation is this one right here. I got my little cheat sheet here. And you can take a picture of this. You can Google this and find this online, but you can actually look for specific markers. So I don't think I have time to go over all of them, but let's go over a few of these guys. I know you guys can't see this online, but I have a picture of the face. So the first one, look up here, irritation, annoyance, impatience. So it's like vertical lines coming up right here. This has to do with the liver and expressing anger that is repressed or is so tired that it is overreactive and overreactive to external stimuli. So you have these lines coming up right here in the center of the face. That's what it means. And if it shifts from 2 lines to 3 lines, that means you have evolved the anger and you've learned to manage your anger. This is, like I said, this is probably the coolest slide in the presentation. Worry lines. Let's see here. I didn't mean to do that. Didn't mean to do that. We'll go back. There we go. Oh, we'll go back. We'll go back. I'll figure it out. Boom, boom. There we go. All right. So lost love, lens radiating from the eyes. So you see lost love coming down right here. All right. That's a lost love line. So you can see people have a deep groove. That means they lost love. That means lines radiating from the inner corner of the eye represent leaving pieces of yourself in the past, regrets, not feeling beautiful, or maybe you're athletic and you lost your athletic ability. So this line coming down right here on somebody's face is a lost love line, or you're just not having fun anymore. You guys, this is not my opinion. This is literally like, this is all straight out of the book. So don't hate the messenger. Sadness, outer corner of the eye. You can see the mark there. If you have a line coming out here, that's a sadness line, like when tears come out. The sadness line, it's the outer corner of the eye that go down, resembles depleted heart energy. And if they're very long, they turn into sorrow lines. So you can see, you guys can't see the picture. So we have sadness line right here, and it's going down, okay? And it can actually come all the way down into sorrow. If it goes really down, it goes into grief, and then it's affecting your lungs. You guys ever seen like older people who have like hollowed out energy right here, like in their cheeks? It means their lung chi is very depleted. Okay, like see, I got pretty good there. I got pretty healthy lungs. And the other one's the opposite. You have sadness. There's also joy lines. So you see joy lines coming up like this. That's actually a positive. There's also a positive lines. So people say like they get like the crow's feet coming up, but if the lines are coming up, that's actually positive. It's a joy line coming up. So people are like, oh, I don't like my crow's feet, but if it's coming up, that's positive. Also, if it comes up too much, that's called a mania line. So that's something to look for. If you're out on a date, where is it? The mania line. If somebody has a line coming way up like this, that means that they are mania and hyperactivity. Okay, mania and hyperactivity. Remember, the right and left side show different things. If you've been paying attention to this whole presentation, I'm trying to find the mania line here. But that's something to look for. Like you're on a date and somebody has a line going up the side of their face, they might be a maniac. Transformation line. So if people have a line coming up like the side of their face like this, that means they've transformed and they've healed from something really difficult. So a diagonal line radiating up the eyebrow towards the hairline reveals you've gone through intense suffering, but came out of it with wisdom, and it indicates an expanded mind and increased consciousness. So somebody has a line. See, I kind of have a little bit of a line there, right? From going through some stuff in my own life. There's a little line coming up on that side of the face. Let's see what else here. Purpose lines. If people have line, I got a good purpose in life. So you'll see these lines coming down right here. These are purpose lines. So I have a little bit of a purpose in life, and the deeper they are, the stronger the purpose. So you have these lines coming down right here. Those are purpose lines. Okay, they come down from the sides of the nose towards the mouth. They show you have a life purpose and how far along you are. Very necessary by the age of 55 or 56, and it helps you, gives you more of a reason to live. Interesting. Let's see here. There's a big one. When you see like old, like grandmas, like guys, this is not my opinion. This is what I read in the book. You see the lines right here above the lips. People think it's because you smoke too many cigarettes or something. They'll get the lines right here. It's over nurturing. I see this with a lot of older women. They over nurtured because the mouth has to do with the stomach element. Okay, there's lines right here. It's over nurturing. Okay, you've over nurtured other people. Like mothers who took care of everybody else but did not take care of themselves enough, the over nurturing line. So it's vertical lines on the lip, shows stomach energy has been overused caring for others. Easy to get rid of. You guys, these lines, easy to get rid of. This comes from the book, by pampering yourself. Okay. Where'd that go? Yeah, purpose lines. No. Over nurturing. So easy to get rid of by pampering oneself. More energy being given out than receiving, and can lead to disappointment lines as well, and having resentment for not getting what you want. And this also leads to below, you get lines up here over nurturing, you can get bitterness lines right here coming down. See some of these, like I said, men get it too, but I see a lot of grandmas, they have like overtaken so many, like see a lot of this with women, they got these lines right here, right, from over nurturing, and then they get bitter. So you see the bitterness lines coming down from the face too, from just taking care of everybody else and not pampering themselves enough. Sorry to call it the ladies, but I see there's a lot of grandmas. Okay, out here in Marin County, I see that stuff. Disappointment lines. I think I mentioned that earlier. You get lines coming down like this. Remember, lines going downwards tend to be more negative. Lines going up are more positive. So you got these lines coming down right here. There's been a lot of disappointment in your life. Let me find that one. Disappointment lines. Lines on the side of the mouth, often caused by smiling when you don't want to, often caused by expectations and attachments from others that are unfulfilled. Those are disappointment lines. Now, you can't see this, but I mentioned earlier, humor lines is somebody like I have a good sense of humor. You see I have lines on my lips. You can see that. It means I have a good sense of humor. You see the lines on my lips? That means someone has a good sense of humor. If they don't have that, they may not have a good sense of humor. You know, I'm getting more people commenting now. Like it's like, oh wait, I've got that. Denise says she's got a recently gotten a transformation line. Yeah, like sometimes you get a line, it's a positive thing. Like that's the key thing of learning about all this stuff. Okay. What are the lines we have here? Remember I said earlier, you can get sadness line, turns into sorrow line, and then the grief, depleted lung energy. See if I can find the grief one. I got to reorganize this so it's easier to find all these. But the grief line, like I said, is depleted. Oh, here it is. Sadness lines that go over the cheekbone. Often the lungs become involved in grief. Your lungs have to do it with grief, and is often the most suppressed emotion. When the lower cheek area is hollowed out, this is a sign the person is under continual stress. Also, shallow breathing and putting off pleasure and gratification for too long. Like I said, you see a lot of very older people. There's like hollowed out cheeks. It means very depleted lung energy. Skepticism line. So people got skepticism, like they're like walking around like this. They're doing this a lot. Oh, Jennifer says she's got skepticism on one side more than the other. Like you walk around, if you do this a lot, you're going to get that skepticism. Like, no, you think so? Like, you think so? Yeah. Where's the skepticism? So lines above the eyebrows, usually outer end above the eyebrows, shows that eyebrows lifted frequently. People who have these are not easily fooled and show discernment. So you guys, Jennifer is not easily fooled. Thank you for sharing that, Jennifer. Let's see here. Oh, another good one is the blood pressure irregularities. If people have a line right here on their ear, that can be a sign of blood pressure irregularity. Okay, so diagonal lines on the earlobe tied to heart disease. So see people having lines right here. Okay, and then auditory intuition. People have lines in the front of their ear. I've seen this in a lot of people. My dad actually has these too because he's a sound mixer, right? You have lines here. It's auditory intuition. Okay. So lines show up on the front of the ears. You can tell when someone is lying. You can also sense changes in somebody's mood and change in their voice. And often these lines are related to living around someone who is a liar or trauma from feeling safe. These lines are a symbolism of honesty and being around people, being around truth. I gotta rewrite this. But let me see here. What else have I missed? Over nurturing. Did I miss any, guys? I think I got all of them. But yeah, like I said, absolutely fascinating going through this stuff. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. You can also take a picture, or you can find this on Google too. But let's finish up this presentation. We're just about done here, or we're going over time a little bit. It's all good. So healing is a heart form, emphasis on art, okay? Heart. And of the word, I would say the center of the word heart is ear, but the end of the word is art. So why can't people heal? Why can't people heal? Incomplete healing often results from a lack of full presence in the body, or an imbalance with nature, the Shen, the Tao, or natural law. I'll read that again because that's so important. Incomplete healing often results from a lack of full presence in the body. Remember how earlier I said, your soul being in your body, you will not get sick. This is the essence of what alchemy is all about. That's what my logo is. The symbol of the philosopher's stone really comes down to your soul being fully in your body. Go talk to your Western doctor. Be like, soul in the body? What are you talking about? Soul in the body? I'm going to give you some drugs, right? I'm joking around, you guys. But that's the key here is you want to have the soul fully in the body. You can see it in the eyes. You've balanced all your internal energy. Your hormones are balanced, right? Now, the body naturally seeks homeostasis, but blocked emotions or stuck chi can impede healing. Acknowledging limiting beliefs and internal demons. When I say internal demons, repressed emotions, your repressed emotions, like when you get triggered, your emotions pop out. It's like, where'd that come from? It's like your inner demons. So the more you repress your inner emotions, those are your inner demons. So acknowledging limiting beliefs and internal demons is necessary to achieve healing and wholeness. And remember, wholeness is just like my shirt, the yin yang symbol or Tai Chi symbol. Face reading serves as one of many tools to assist individuals and others on their healing path. And as I mentioned, in the Alchemy Healing Academy, we have a whole range of tools that we teach you how to become and master the healing arts. And my whole goal, you guys, we meet every Thursday, is to keep teaching this wisdom. As I mentioned, next week, we're going to be doing healing your nervous system. I'm just taking all this fantastic wisdom from these books and organizing it, making it easier and serving it up on a silver platter for you. Now, concluding details. We went a little over an hour. My apologies, but it was good stuff. And we're going to do a short meditation here to finish up. Concluding details, what our face reveals. The face serves as a map reflecting personality, past experiences, and future potential. It mirrors the inner workings of the mind and body, akin to the rings of on your face, or rings of a tree. Proficient reading the face enables the observation of disease signs before they manifest in the body and facilitates wrinkle removal. Let me say that again. Proficiently reading the face enables the observation of disease before they manifest in the body and facilitates wrinkle removal. You guys, this book, it's phenomenal. Like I know I'm here, I'm not trying to sell you books, but kind of, this one's freaking amazing. And actually in the Academy, I have a second level 2 of this presentation that goes deeper. Now, a cautionary note emphasizes the importance of ask permission before you read someone's face. Like I do it all the time. Like I can see people, but before I tell them what I'm seeing, I always ask, can I share what I'm seeing in your face? Right. And it also helps me a lot as a coach because I can be like, well, I can kind of tell you got some stuff going on in this part of your body. Right. But do enjoy people watching and use these tools with discernment. Like literally, you guys, like your people watching game probably stepped up a few notches after listening to this presentation today. And so just to finish up, thank you guys all for tuning in. As I mentioned, next week is Heal Your Nervous System. If you want to learn more about the Alchemy Healing Academy, go to alchemyhealingacademy.com. You can join the inner circle. You can buy my book, Shadow Awakening, on Amazon. It's also free. If you have a Spotify account, you can listen to my book. My dad and I recorded it and launched it last year. Check me out on social media. I'm posting tons of content all the time. And also, next month, we're going to go into the 5 spirits of alchemy. This is a very much deeper subject, going very deep into what 5-element theory is and teaching you how to master the healing arts. So, did you guys have fun? Throw a 2 in the chat box if you had fun. Throw them 2s up. Throw up them deuces. Deuce. Will you not entertain? Will you not entertain today? Did I not entertain you? Thank you for everybody who tuned in on Zoom. Appreciate you guys so much. I'm going to hop off. Our people who tuned in on the lives, thank you so much. Peace, y'all. Thank you. I made 2 cents today, you guys. Hell yeah, 5 cents in the last week on TikTok. All right, so let me stop sharing. And just for like any feedback people have for me, I'd love for you to come off of mute, share. Did you enjoy it? Did you learn anything cool? I shared a lot of cool information, but anything that stood out for you guys, I'd love to hear from you. Go, Jennifer.
Okay, the converting pain into forgiveness and gratitude.
Yeah.
And how it shifts healed patterns into future fuel, guiding you towards your golden path. Because I was going to ask, I was like, how you find your golden path? And then the talk answered me. And I was like, wow, cool.
Right? Because some people are sick because they're not on their golden path. And that's not for me to like sit here and judge and tell people what it is, but that's your journey in this life to find your golden path, right? Very powerful. Cool. I'm glad you enjoyed that, Jennifer. Anybody else? We'll do like 1 more minute of Q&A. We'd like to have more time for that, but I want to do a short meditation with you guys. Anybody else? Herb, Lulu, do you guys have anything you want to share? It's okay if you don't want to. It's all good. But hopefully I entertained you guys. You guys had fun. Made 2 cents today, so that's a bonus. Let me close all this up. Booyah. As I mentioned, you guys, I'm going to have the note taker. I'm going to share that, all the notes from the presentation in the school community. I'll drop it one more time for you guys. Anybody who wants to join the free school community, I'll put that in here one more time in the chat box. And just click that and you can join us. And I'm going to put the notes of this presentation. And if you want to get access to the recording, please reach out. And then also next week, we'll be doing Healing Your Nervous System. Now, since we talked about the 3 Dantians, we'll do about, let's say, just under 10-minute Dantian meditation. We're going to start with some central channel breathing to clear out the chakras. And we're going to do some meditation focusing on each of the 3 Dantians. Now, you don't have to have your camera on for this, but I always want to teach you all this great stuff, but it's really important when you embody some of it. So some of you may have just learned about the Dantians. So we're going to do a short meditation tuning into those Dantians and kind of healing your energy there. So like I said, you don't have to have your camera on, but we're going to do a short meditation to finish up. So focusing on that lower Dantian, we're going to do some central channel breathing. So take a nice big inhale into your belly. Exhale down into the earth. Inhale from the earth into your belly. Exhale into the heavens above. Inhale from the heavens into your belly. Exhale down into the earth. Inhale from the earth into your belly. Exhale into the heavens above. Inhale from the heavens into your belly. Exhale down into the earth. And just keep that rhythm going at your own pace. But as you move this energy up and down your central channel, where your chakras are, your dantians, just hold your attention in that sacral space. And imagine you're charging up that sacral space with each inhale. You could imagine there's a battery in that space or a treasure chest. And as you inhale, imagine charging up this jing, cultivating this chi, and just really amplifying this life force energy deep within your body. As you exhale, imagine releasing any energies that do not serve you, any thoughts, stagnant emotions, or stories or beliefs that are holding you back, and just release those with the exhale. Imagine releasing them down to Mother Earth or up into Father Sky. And just keep moving that energy up and down that central channel, charging up the lower dantian and releasing stagnant energy with your exhales. If anything comes up for you, or if you're in your head too much, just imagine that your thoughts are like clouds in the sky. Just let those clouds just float away and keep bringing your attention back to that space deep within your belly. See how forgetful you can be in this space, forgetting who you are, forgetting everything going on outside of you. And just shift your attention to the timeless now, this sacred presence that's an awakening from above and below in cultivating that energy within you. The key to this meditation is awareness and holding it in that lower dantian space and just breathing as deeply as you can, inhaling that vital life force energy and just letting everything else go. Just imagine you're drinking this powerful life force energy into your being and fully surrender into this present moment as you charge up that lower dantian space. And we'll work with that lower dantian for another minute or so. But imagine your body is like a tree. As you connect with Mother Earth, imagine growing stronger roots. And as you connect with Father Sky, imagine growing stronger branches. And just keep charging up that lower dantian and imagine that the roots are growing stronger beneath you. The branches are growing stronger above you. And just keep moving energy up and down that central channel, charging up the energy in the lower dantian, feeling the branches and the roots extending above and below. And just keep holding your attention in that lower dantian for a few more breaths, feeling this timeless energy streaming into your being. And just completely allowing yourself to be fully present in these precious moments. And we'll breathe into that lower dantian once or twice more. And then we'll gently move our awareness up into the heart space. And just breathing into that middle dantian. If you feel called, you can place one or both hands over the center of your chest. And just like with the lower dantian, imagine moving energy up and down your central channel. But just hold your attention in that heart space. And just imagine if your heart's blocked or if you need to open up just a little bit more, just working with your breath and using your hands, imagine releasing any blockages you may have. You can even imagine the image of a flower or a rose opening up and unfolding in that heart space. And just breathing as deeply as you can, feeling that heart opening up as wide as possible. And as you work with that heart energy and feeling your heart opening up more, imagine effortlessly receiving all the love that you are truly worthy of. And just breathing into that experience, feeling that love just being drawn to you like a magnet. Just feeling that heart space opening up just a little bit more. Just breathe into that space, feeling your chest rising and falling, holding your attention in that heart space, and just feeling everything that you are worthy of being effortlessly drawn to that heart space, receiving all the love that you deserve and always have. And just continuing to move the energy up and down that central channel, holding your attention in the heart space for a few more breaths. The longer and slower the breath, the better. And then we'll gently move our attention up into the third eye space where the Shen is. So in the very center of your head, just hold your attention there. And just keep using that central channel breathing to clear out any stagnation in that third eye space. Working with that breath, just tapping into this pure presence in these precious moments, and continuing to be as forgetful as possible. Nothing else matters. Nobody else matters. It's just you working with that third eye space, clearing out any stagnation, and just breathing as deeply as you can, and tapping into your intuition, tapping into your insight, or that inner sight as you clear out that third eye space. Just breathing, surrendering, and relaxing as deeply as you can. And just continuing to quiet your mind and tuning into the wisdom of that third eye, maintaining that loving presence and awareness in that third eye space. Just continuing to breathe, working with that central channel, clearing out your field, enjoying each delicious moment, enjoying one breath at a time. And just feeling this deep sense of inner calmness, maybe relaxing your shoulders just a little bit more. And just feel this inner truth being activated from deep within you. And imagine releasing any blockages you have in that third eye space, allowing you to tap more deeply into seeing the truth that is all around you, and maybe seeing deeper truths within yourself. And just breathing into that third eye, holding your attention there for a few more breaths. And I'd like for you to bring your attention back down into that heart space. I'd like to do just a minute of meditation, tuning into your heart and seeing if you can open it up just a little bit more. But I'd like to do a minute of silence where we all tuning into our heart space and opening up your heart and just imagining all the hearts of everybody on earth opening up, and just feel that presence for 1 minute of silence. Just feeling the energy. What would it feel like if everybody on earth opened up their hearts? Just breathe into that experience for 1 minute of silence here. Beautiful work today, everyone. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Hopefully you had a great time. It's a pleasure to teach you this amazing wisdom and do a gentle meditation to complete our practice for today, to complete the teaching. I hope you'll tune into the free school community. If you need any additional support, please reach out. And as I always like to complete our sessions, I like to remind you that the work you do to heal yourself doesn't just heal you, it heals your family, your friends, and heals everybody in the world through the quantum field. So keep up the fantastic work. I'm so grateful to support you guys. And as I mentioned, please reach out if you need any additional support. I love you and have a great night. See you guys next week. Heal your nervous system. Peace.